We have already studied about the plant tissues. Plant tissue divided into two, meristematic and permanent. We have learned about permanent tissue. Now today we will be studying about the meristematic tissues. Meristematic tissues have cells which continuously divide. Meristematic tissues are the tissues which have continuously dividing cells. There are three types of meristematic tissue: apical meristematic tissue, number 2 intercalary meristematic tissue, and number 3 lateral meristematic tissue, or you can call them as meristems. So here is the picture showing the three types of meristems. Number 1 is the apical meristem. As you can see in the picture also, this is located at the apex. Apex means the topmost region of the plant. Either it is present in the root topmost region or shoot topmost region. And as it is present in the topmost region, it helps in increasing the height of the plant. Number 2 is intercalary meristem. It is mainly located at the internodes. What are the internodes? These are regions from where the leaves grow. So it is present in that regions and it helps in increasing the length of the plant. It is mainly present in plants like monocots, pines, etc. Number 3 is the lateral meristem. Lateral means side. So basically this tissue is present at the site of the plant and it helps in increasing the thickness or fatness of the plant. So here is the picture. Plant and animal cells are very different from each other. Therefore, the tissues is also going to differ in them. So here it is, we have entered into the animal world to study about the animal tissues. A picture showing the cell of the animal. As you can see, the animal cell is free from the cell wall. It does not consist of cell wall. This is the tabular view of the animal tissue. Animal tissues are of various types. As you can see, it is basically divided into 4 types: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, and nervous tissue. Further, it is divided into many subtypes. So one by one, we are going to study about this. When you walk outside on a rainy day, you get wet. But you will realize that it's only the clothes you're wearing gets wet and not your entire body. That means the clothes absorb the water while your body doesn't. If I ask, does your body absorb water? Your answer will be no. It is because of the presence of skin covering your body. The skin prevents the entry of water inside your body. So it must be that the skin is made up of something which prevents the entry of water inside. So we will be studying about that in the next slide. Skin is made up of a type of tissue known as epithelial tissue. In this slide, we will be dealing with the first type of animal tissue, that is epithelial tissue. Epithelial means the outer layer. Epithelial tissue are mostly found in the external surface of the body. And what are the external surface? The skin, the outer covering of the body, that is skin. And it is also found in the internal lining of the internal organs. Now what can these organs be? These organs can be intestine, stomach, liver, etc. We also have to deal with the types of epithelial tissue. If we deal with the types of epithelial tissues are mainly divided different type on the basis of the number of cells and the shape of cells. So first we are going to deal with the types of tissue based on the number of cells. If we talk about the number of cells, either they can be a single layer of cells or they can be multi-layer. Single layer means less amount of cells, whereas multi-layer means many cells lying on top of each other. Single layer of cells have got a special name known as simple epithelial tissue, whereas the multi-layer cells have got a name stratified epithelial tissue. So, epithelial tissue divided onto two types on the basis of the number of cell. First is the simple epithelial tissue and the second is stratified epithelial tissue. By looking at the picture, you can get an idea of the single layer epithelial tissue, that is simple epithelial tissue. One single layer of cell is there, that means it will consist of less amount of cell, whereas the other, the picture at the down, shows the stratified epithelial tissue, that means multi-layer epithelial tissue, in which you can see that a line of cells are lying on top of each other forming many layers, and this shows that the number of cells in them is large. In the previous slide, we dealt with the types of tissues on the basis of the number of the cells, and now in this slide we are going to deal with the types of epithelial tissue on the basis of the shape of the cells. So the first tissue is the squamous epithelial tissue. Squamous means flat. So these tissues are flat in appearance. They will look like tiles, as you can compare them with the tiles of a floor. Let me again take into a revision. Animal tissue divided into four types: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue and nervous tissue. So first we are dealing with this epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue basically divided on the types of the number of cells and also on the shape of the cell. So we have already talked about the types of tissues on the basis of the number of cells: simple epithelial tissue, single layer cells, and stratified epithelial tissue, multi-layer cells. Now we are dealing with the types of tissue on the basis of the shape of the cell. We already talked about one such type, that is squamous epithelium, which are flat in appearance, looks like tiles of a floor. Now squamous epithelium are further divided into two types on the basis of the location, that means place where it is found, on the basis of the function it performs. So the first type is the single layer epithelial tissue named as squamous epithelial tissue. Simple squamous epithelial tissue. Simple, why we call it simple? Keep this thing in mind that when we are dealing with epithelial tissue, wherever the single layer cells are coming, it is known as simple, and wherever multi-layer cells are coming, it is known as stratified. So first is squamous epithelial tissue divided into two types. First is single layer simple squamous epithelial tissue or simple squamous epithelium. Where is the location? It is found in the lining of lungs. Now you know very well that lung is mainly concerned with the function of exchange of gases during breathing. During breathing we take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So how does process happen? There had to be some tissue which could initiate this process, which could carry on this process. So this simple squamous epithelium tissue, this allow the easy entry and exit of the gases through the lung. It is present at the lining of the lung, so the carbon dioxide could easily expel out through the tissue and the oxygen can easily get in. So we can say that what is the function? It allows easy diffusion of gases. Diffusion means coming out and going in. The The second type of squamous epithelial tissue is the stratified. As I already said, stratified means multi-layer, many layer. So stratified squamous epithelial tissue or stratified squamous epithelium. These are present in the skin. As epithelial tissue can also be present on the external surface of the body, so this is present in the skin. And if it is present in the skin, you know very well that your skin provides you from various types of germs. So this tissues acts as a protective layer, preventing you from all kinds of germs and prevent their entry inside your body. The first type of epithelial tissue on the basis of the shape of the cells was squamous epithelial tissue. Looks like the tiles of a floor. Now the second type is cuboidal tissue. As the name signifies, cuboidal means cube-like. So this type of epithelial tissue looks like an ice cube. You can compare them to an ice cube. Now, cuboidal epithelial tissue is again of two types. One is on the basis of the single layer and the other is multi-layer. So the single layer cuboidal epithelial tissue has been named as simple cuboidal epithelial tissue or simple cuboidal epithelium. They are located in the lining of the kidney. Now you know that kidney is mainly concerned with the filtration of blood. It removes the waste products from the body and it provides the body with the pure blood. It filters the blood. So this tissue mainly has a property of sieve. What the sieve does? It helps in filtration of things to remove the waste product out. So it plays the same role. Now the next type of cuboidal epithelium is the multilayer, and multilayer means stratified. So stratified cuboidal epithelial tissue or stratified cuboidal epithelium. These are mainly present in the ducts or pouches of the gland. Now what does this mean? In your body, various kinds of pouches or ducts are present in the various location, maybe under the skin, and these pouches they releases certain chemicals, which chemicals bring about the growth of the body, growth of the hair, production of eye liquid, many function, production of saliva. There are different types of pouches, and all different pouches have different function. They are located in different parts of the body. So what this stratified cuboidal epithelium does, it lines those pouches and it protects them. As it is multi-layer means very thick, so anything thick will protect. So it aids in the protection of those ducts or pouches. Now, first type of epithelial tissue on the basis of the shape of cells were the squamous epithelial tissue, looks like the tiles of a floor. The second type was cuboidal epithelial tissue, looks like ice cube. And the third type is columnar epithelial tissue, which is similar to the rectangular buildings. I have compared them with the buildings because the buildings are rectangular in shape, and thus these tissues, the cells are mainly present. The cells have a rectangular shape. Third type of epithelial tissue, that is columnar epithelial tissue, which have a rectangular appearance, is again divided into two types on the basis of the number of the cells. Now the first type of columnar epithelium is the single layer or the simple columnar epithelial tissue or simple columnar epithelium. Where they are located? They are located in the lining of the digestive organ like stomach and intestine. Now, as you know that digestive system mainly concerned with the process of digestion and absorption of the food particles. That means they break down the bigger food particles into smaller, and the waste material are thrown out through the body, and the food or the chemicals which are needed for the body is absorbed back into the body. So what this tissue does is, this tissue is, as you know, it is single layer, so it will be thin, and being thin it allows absorption of those useful food particle back into the body through this tissue. Now the second type of columnar epithelial tissue is the pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Now here we have not used the term stratified. Stratified is mainly used for the multi-layer tissues, but this does not have a multi-layer tissue. It looks like a multi-layer, but it is not multi-layer. That's why we have used the term pseudo. Pseudo means false. So here the cells are actually, they are not in many layers, but they are very tall. One cell is very tall, and being tall it looks thick. All the layers together, all the tall layers together, if they are arranged together, they look very thick. That's why it gives the appearance of many layers. But actually there are not many layers. Only one single layer is there, and all the cells are very tall. That's why we have used the term pseudo-stratified. That means false appearance. Now these tissues are also found in the digestive organs, and it may be concerned with the function of protection. Being thick, whichever thing is thick, it can protect the particular organ. Let us try to revise the epithelial tissue and the types of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is a type of animal tissue found in external surface of the body and also in the lining of the internal organs. Epithelial tissue is again divided into many types on the basis of the type of cells, shape of the cell, and the number of the cells. So the first type is squamous epithelial tissue, tiles-like in appearance. They are again of two types: single layer simple squamous epithelium and multi-layer stratified squamous epithelium. The second type of epithelial tissue is the cuboidal epithelial tissue, cube-like in appearance, again of two types: single layer simple cuboidal tissue and the multi-layer stratified cuboidal epithelial tissue. The third type of epithelial tissue is the columnar epithelial tissue, which have cells very tall and rectangular in appearance. They are again of two types: single layer simple columnar epithelial tissue, and the other one is pseudo stratified columnar epithelial tissue. Why pseudo stratified? Because they only look like multilayer, but they are not actually multilayer. Let me relate the second type of animal tissue with the construction of a building. You might have gone to a construction site. You might know that what things are used for the construction of a building. It might be bricks, it might be iron rod, it might be water, it might be cement, it might be some other substances. Now imagine a building has been constructed. Bricks are put, rods are emerged, but without the cement. The cementing material is absent. Will the building stand? No. It is going to fall because there is nothing for the attachment of the bricks. The bricks are not connected with each other. What the cement does? The cement attaches the different brick and connects the different bricks, and it put them together. So in a body also such type of cementing material is present in a form of a tissue. In a form of a tissue which mainly facilitates the function of connection. What is the name of the tissue? It has been named as the second type of animal tissue, that is the connective tissue. We can say that the connective tissue is the type of tissues which connect the different organs of your body. Now, connective tissue is again of many types. So we are going to deal with the types of connective tissue on the basis of the following terms which you can see in the picture. So we are going to deal with the first three. The first one is not actually the type but a term which is very important to know when you are dealing with connective tissue. So let's get started. We We have legs. What is the use of legs? Legs help us to stand. But imagine yourself that you are standing in a air. That means no ground is available to you and you are floating in the air. Will you be able to stand straight? Hardly it can happen. So we need a ground to stand straight, to keep ourselves erect. Similarly, the tissue is composed of cells. So these cells need a ground or a base on which they can sit, on which they can stand. So in all the tissues, all the tissues consist of cells and these cells lie in a base. What is this base? This base is known as matrix. Now matrix is mainly jelly-like in appearance. That means it is made up of water plus some solid substances. It looks like a gel and the tissues are sitting or floating on this. Like as you can see in the picture which is given in the given slide, that the blue color small rounded structures which you can see, these are the cells and they are lying on a gel like matrix which is white in color. Now from here we are going to actually deals with the type of tissue. The first type is the dense connective tissue. Now to understand this, let us talk about first the skeletal system. What is the function of skeletal system in your body? Skeletal system, what does this mean? It means that many bones are present. All these bones together has been named as skeletal system. And what is the function of this bone? These bones help the different internal organs of your body. Now, these bones, as you can see in the picture, are connected with each other. They are joined with each other. So a tissue is present there which help in connecting these bones together. Now for the fact, let me tell you that we have 206 bones in our body, in a human body. When a person takes birth, when a baby is born, the baby has 270 bones. But as the baby is growing, as we are becoming adult, the number of the bones decreases and it becomes 206. Now, so the types of connective tissue which join bones to bone or connect bone to bone is known as ligament, while you can also find muscles in the body. Only bones will be present and in time of damage the entire body will collapse. So the requirement of muscle is very important in the body. Muscles gives a fluffy appearance to the body and it also protect the bones. So muscles are present between the bones also. The bones, so the connective tissue which joins bones to muscle is known as tendon. This ligament and tendon has been together called as dense connective tissue, which is the first type of connective tissue. And why it is called a dense? Dense means something closely packed. As you can find the molecules in the solid very closely packed with very little space. So these two have cells very closely packed and the gel, the base, the matrix on which the cell has to float, that matrix is very less in amount. The second type of connective tissue is areolar or loose connective tissue. In the following slide, you can see the picture of three The first shows the human being. The second is also a picture of human being but only with the muscles. And the third is the skeletal system. Now, the purpose of showing this picture is that to know that your body has the outer covering as skin. Now, the skin need to be attached to the muscles present in the body, as muscles covers most of the bones. So, how this skin is attached to the muscles? With help of another type of connective tissue known as areolar connective tissue. This connective tissue is also present in the blood vessels, in nerves, or in spaces between the organs. Now you might know that organs are different type of organs are present in the body. Now these organs are not very close to each other. They are far from each other. So there need to be something package material between them, or these organs need to be packed by something, some tissues. So basically this areolar connective tissue help as a package material or a filler tissue. It is filling the gaps. Why do we call as loose connective tissue? It is known as loose connective tissue because here the cells are lying in a matrix, gel matrix. Now the gel matrix, it is very loose. Like in the previous dense connective tissue, we have seen that the cells were very closely packed to each other. So we compared that structure with the solid state of matter. Now we can compare this structure to the liquid state of matter. As the molecules are little far from each other and gaps are there, similarly here the cells are little far from each other and they are loosely packed with floating gel matrix. So therefore these tissues have been named as areolar or loose connective tissue, basically acting as a filling tissue and protecting the organs. We are going to deal with the third type of connective tissue, skeletal tissue. Now, have you ever imagined what does the bone made up of? Bone is actually a tissue. It is a connective tissue. And you are well aware of the function of the bone. It protects the body. So here I have given one picture to make you realize or make you understand what is the function, what actually the bone does. Here you can see the picture of a rib cage, rib bones. What the rib bone doing? It is protecting the delicate organs like heart and lung. So most of your tissues, entire skeletal system, either give shape to the tissue, shape to the body, provide rigidity to the body, and protect your body. How it can protect? Bone is a type of connective tissue which consists of cells, and these cells are very closely joined to each other, and there is a filling there in the cell, filling of a chemical. This chemical is known as calcium phosphate. That's why it is said to drink milk for the strength of the bone, because milk consists of calcium, and when enough of calcium is there in the body, your bones get strength. We touch your ear, touch your nose, pinch your ear, pinch your nose.